Bank runs are a reality. This is not fiction. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not fear-mongering. Jittery customers run on banks in Crimea. And if we take a look at what's happening right here, Ukraine's largest banks as customers are lining up to withdraw their cash from their accounts. Does that surprise you? That a country that has been invaded by a foreign army is worried, is shocked, and they're taking their money out of the bank. That's their savings. They're worried. They want to put it under their mattress. And I do not blame them at all. Whenever there's a crisis, the people will take their money out of the banks. And what did they do in response to that? They said that the bank imposed a limit of about $150 on daily withdrawals across all of the Ukraine. So if you have a conflict in one area, one region, it's going to affect the whole country. And that's what they've done here. They have limited the amount that people can withdraw. So they're going to go to the bank every day. They're going to try to take 150, consistently trying to take that money out and hope that they can get all their money out before it's devalued. So what are they going to do with their cash? I'm not too sure. I hope they're buying real assets. However, all I know is that their money is being devalued. I've covered that before. What about this? Cyprus banks to reopen with strict cash limits. Now, of course, this was back in 2013, but that's what happens. In every country there's a crisis, they begin to head over and rush over to the bank right at the last second, and they impose limits on the withdrawals. Of course, because if they defund the bank entirely, the bank's going to have to go bankrupt. The insurance in the US, the FDIC, for example, doesn't have enough money to bail out that bank. So what do? They impose those limits, capital controls. That's how they do this. It's been happening, and I'll show you another example. Russian bank halts all cash withdrawals. And apparently this is via Bloomberg. Lender has introduced the complete ban on withdrawals until the end of the week. So it was a temporary time, and they said, your cash is not coming out. They did the same thing with a bank holiday in the US, so don't think that it's just foreign countries. This could happen in any country around the world. This is not fear-mongering. I hate when I get those comments on my channel because this is legitimate concern. It's happening in so many countries around the world, and it should not surprise anyone when we hear about it here. I believe it was Chase Bank is now just starting to do some limitations on the amount of money that can be withdrawn. And if you were watching my previous videos, I've done ones about that, and commenters were saying how they've had trouble withdrawing money from the bank and how it was a headache just to get their money out. When it's your money, you should be able to pull all of it out in a second, and they should never even ask you one question. And then on top of all of this, you have this new news. John Kerry, Russia has until Monday to reverse course in the Ukraine. Whatever happens with this, if Russia doesn't pull out or doesn't reverse course, whatever they mean by that, there's going to be an escalation. The U.S. has threatened sanctions, and this would obviously be detrimental to what's happening. The peace talks and all of the negotiations would be undermined at this point. So we do not want this to happen, and I could see that if this does happen, they may shut down the banks entirely. They may say, okay, that's it. We're going to limit the cash withdrawals. You're stuck with what you got for now, and we're going to deal with this, and perhaps something militarily will happen. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make from all of this is that your money should not be in the banking system. Look what happens. It goes from normal to chaos in a very, very short period of time, and the majority of the public are going to be waiting in that lineup at the last minute, finding out they can only get a small percentage of their money out. That's what's going to happen to you. You will be a statistic if you're already not prepared. You need to get prepared now. Get your money out of the system. Keep only what you need for the daily transactions, and put your money into real assets. I've gone over that many times. I am very concerned about what's happening all around the world, with the bail-in strategy being the most detrimental I have ever seen. When they could stick their hands into your own account and say, this is our property. You put it in our bank, it's our property. And they take a major chunk out. Your savings are gone, and this is a crime, and they're getting away with it all around the world. Please spread this message to your friends and family. This is so crucial right now. We're heading to that point where we're having countries falling down one by one, and things are not looking better, unfortunately. Sure, there are many people waking up. If you're watching this video, chances are you're at least somewhat awake. You realize what the bankers are doing. You realize what a bailout is. But overall, the geopolitical spectrum, things are getting worse. I hope that you guys are getting on the Money GPS Insiders. That is basically an extension to my work here on YouTube, an extension to my book itself, and I hope that you will get on that. And it's just basically just go to themoneygps.com, scroll down to the bottom, fill in your email address, and you'll get occasional emails from me that I'm working on now. Take care.